Hello everybody, my name is Michael and welcome to this episode of Just Make Game, my monthly series about making video games. Alrighty, lots of things done this month. Let's start with the music. So I've gone ahead and mixed all the tracks that we recorded last month and they're sounding fantastic, so the music is nearly all done. There are only a handful of tracks to go, all of which should get recorded and mixed this month and mastered and everything else. There's going to be over an hour's worth of music on the soundtrack, which is just ridiculous. Here's a little taste of how it's all sounding. I couldn't be happy with how the music's turned out. I think it really does its job at setting the mood and the sort of tone that I'm after for the entire game. Oh, and my mate Tom, who's the fella that we recorded at his studio, he's got a short little music video that he made of one of our recording sessions up on his channel. There's a link to his video in the description to this one, if you're interested in checking it out. In still music-related news, I've also completed mixing and mastering all the ambient tracks that play in the background for each section of the game. They're all done, no more to do. They're not so much musical tracks as they are ambient noise tracks. They help establish the setting and the music comes in and out over the top of these and it sort of builds up a soundscape from that. I've done a few little polishing touches, more than a few, but Bannerman now has light sources, doors that swing open and closed, and other jazz like that. Like I said last month, I don't ever want a static scene in Bannerman if I can avoid it, and all these little bits of animation here and there help bring the world to life. I've also spent some time on some really dull and tedious sort of work, so things like reworking a bunch of the menu systems. There's nothing very exciting to say about that, but it's one of those things that you just gotta do. I made a couple of tweaks to the combat, real tiny little things. Things like slightly adjusting the timing of certain attacks and things like that, single frames of animation. I think the combat is basically done at this point. I don't think I need to touch it anymore. I've done a big bug sweep, so I've gone straight through the game and I've cleaned up as many issues as I could find. I'll need to go back through and do that again a whole bunch of times in order to catch as many as I can. I've reworked and rejigged a couple of the puzzle elements. Now, I haven't talked about these in past videos because talking about puzzles kind of kills the puzzles. Now when I say puzzles, they're nothing too full on. They're not like Day of the Tentacle sort of puzzles, but well, anyway, they've been tweaked and buggered around with and I'm pretty happy with how they're sitting at the moment too. I've also just started work, just today actually, on the sound effects. And this is not the sort of job that I enjoy very much, I gotta admit. I don't mind mixing music and recording music, that's fine. Mixing and recording a bunch of like slightly different clangs for swords banging together and footsteps and things like that, that's not something that I can get excited about. But it's something that, you gotta do, so I'm doing it now. The sound effects should be wrapped up hopefully in a week or two, unless I get distracted with something else. Well, there we go. Everything is looking really, really close. The game is basically done, but it's not quite done, if that sort of makes sense. There's lots of little bits that I've still got to do. But I'm hoping within about a month or so to announce a release date for Bannerman and then actually bring everything out. So hopefully I can stick to that, and in a month's time you will see when Bannerman's coming out, trailers for it, all that sort of shit. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next month for another episode of Just Make Game. I did it!